Hi. How do I get my kids to bed on time and stay in the Vortex?
By letting them choose what on time is.
Oh, all right.
Because it's sort of like getting them to bed is when my freedom begins.
Yeah, right.
And your freedom feels like their bondage.
Right.
And we know, we get the whole thing, but if you think about why you want them, I want them to be rested. I want them to feel good. I want them to connect with the whole that they are. I want them to be happy in their lives. I want them to know the ultimate of their well-being. I want them to thrive. I want them to be joyful. I want them to feel the fullness of who they are. I want them to be happy. I want them to, now, we're not saying I want them to go to bed.
Right.
I want them to be tuned in. I want them to rest well. I want them to feel comfort. I want them to feel good about their lives. As you visualize, as you focus on your children and you see them in the vortex and you see them awakening frisky and rested and happy, everything else follows that, you see. And trauma before bedtime is not what precedes all of these things that you want for them. It's not good for them and it's not good for you either, you see.
Right.
Something that really helps is letting your children know what you expect. But if your expectation of their behavior is contrary to your desire, then you've got split energy and you are not influential. So you're working against yourself. Your expectation makes them want to stay up while your desire is you want them to be rested. So it's a matter of cleaning up your vibration about it. And the best way to do that, when you're in the vortex, haven't you noticed when the kids are happy and when they're feeling good and when there's not something that you're worried about, like school the next day or something, and it's later than usual, but it just doesn't matter and everybody's having a good time and bedtime's sort of a non-issue. We want it to be like that all the time. Not that we don't think it's a good idea for them to be rested, but that feeling of no angst about it. It's like conveying to them early on, I trust you to make wise decisions for yourself, you see. And so as you speak about how you like rest and how your body likes to be rested, as you speak about how feeling good is really important to you and how much you've discovered it's easier to feel good when you are well rested. And haven't you all noticed that? When you work too hard or when you work too long, it's harder to be in the vortex. You want to pamper yourself. But for children who are already all full of energy, it almost works in opposition. Bedtime to them feels like the opposite of the vortex, where bedtime to you feels more like the vortex. We would have a conversation with them about it. We would tell them what your real motive is for them to be rested, you see. And most of all, as a parent, you want to convey to your children your belief in their ability to guide their world well. And when you're at odds with them about behavior, what you're actually saying with your rules and with your curfews is, I don't trust you to make good decisions for yourself. Therefore, I will do for you what you are unable to do for yourself. And then you don't know when to stop doing that. You see, where the earlier, the better that you can convey to them your trust in them knowing. So if they say, can I stay up? We would, if we were standing in your physical shoes, say, I'm going to leave that up to you. Because when I think about my own sleep, these are the things I want. I want to feel good in the morning. And I want to really give my body the benefit of rest. But you're young and frisky. You'll probably feel good if you stay up all night. So go for it. Go for it. I can't choose for you. I used to stay up all night and not even know it, you might say. I used to rarely sleep and hardly need to, and then I would catch up. So I can't choose for you. I don't want to choose for you. I want you to choose for you. But what I want is for you to feel really good in the morning. So you just feel around until you figure out what your best sleep patterns are, and I will completely support you in whatever those sleep patterns are. And then do it. It's the best gift you could ever give to your kids. I believe in your ability to choose what's best for you. Now, if they're not rested and if they are ornery, now you can have a conversation about that. You can say, well, I know you think you're choosing, but the evidence, I know you're telling me that it was the best choice, but you don't seem happy, so I can tell that you're out of sync with you. So you need to adjust something. I'm just saying, say to them, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you might want to adjust it a little bit because the primary intention is not really being satisfied. Do you know that, this is such an important thing to know about slumber. The only thing that messes up your life experience is resistance, which is contradictory energy, contradictory thought, contradictory to who you really are, contradictory to the source within you, and contradictory to your own intentions that you've carved out of life. That's the only thing that makes you sick. It's the only thing that wears you down. It's the only thing that gives you a bad attitude. It's the only thing that messes up your life in any way, is being out of sync with who you are. Not absence of sleep, being out of sync with who you are. Now, sometimes they go together, because when you're out of sync with who you are, you're depriving yourself of some sleep too. But sleep is not what people think that it is. It is not the solution. Alignment is the solution, you see. And that's why you can get involved in a painting or in anything and get so involved in it. Jerry and Esther find themselves sometimes at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, not even knowing what time it is, because they are so joyously involved in whatever project they are involved in, you see. Yeah. Time doesn't matter. And neither does sleep. It's resistance and alignment that matters. So you do yourself a disservice and you do your children a disservice when you teach them that they need 8 hours or 10 hours of sleep, because they don't need that much sleep. What they need is less resistance. And the reason that you think that the sleep is the answer to that is because while you're sleeping, you're less resistant.
Right.
You say,
Okay.
You are resting while you're sitting here in these chairs. And you felt so much invigoration today as we were tuning you to the frequency of who you are, you see. And that's what your children want. And so this battle that parents have with their children about sleep, of programming them that they need so much sleep, is really a disservice to the children, because it's teaching them something that is not accurate. It's teaching them that the path to happily ever after is sleeping, when the path to happily ever after is alignment. You see.
Yeah.
And how much of this precious exposure to this physical life do you really want to sleep away?
Right. Thank you very much.
There's a couple of concepts I want to get some clarification on. And the first one is appreciation without attachment.
Appreciation has to be without attachment.
Can you go deeper?
Well, what appreciation ultimately is alignment with source. No motive, just alignment with source. That's why we say, go to the vortex because it feels good, not because you're going to try to make something happen by being in it.
So if we can tune ourselves to a state of appreciation consistently,
or frequently.
Or frequently, what will we notice?
You will notice a chronic alignment with the vibration that we would translate into the words of appreciation, is you seeing the world through the eyes of source. What you would notice is that the world is spinning in perfection. What you would notice is that what you want is surrounding you at all times. What you would notice is that people who come to you are on your wavelength and interested in what you want to talk about, and they. What you would notice is that your body is thriving, and when you breathe deeply, it tastes good. What you would notice is that your body is sensual and tactile, and that the environment that surrounds you is loving and comforting. What you would notice is that you're intelligent, and that you have all-knowing, and that your timing is excellent. What you would notice is that people are uplifted in your presence. What you would notice is that the world is beautiful and that it is in balance. What you would notice is that well-being is the order of your day. What you would notice is that life is full and fast and fun and sweet. What you would notice is that you just want more of it. What you would notice is that sleeping isn't very important to you, but focusing is. What you would notice is that music just ripples through your body in a way that you just think that you almost can't endure it. It is so good. And food and sex and all of those things that are tactile and delicious in nature are beyond description as you are participating in them. What you would notice is the perfection of your beingness, and what you would feel is the complete worthiness of who you are. You would feel the love of that which is source, of that which is us, of that which is your inner being, wrapped through you and around you, not supporting you because you don't need support. You are source energy and you are flowing. You would find yourself feeling as you felt in the moment that you made the decision to emerge, and in the moment of the emergence, you would feel rapturous anticipation about all that is possible. You would feel sure about where you stand and knowing that wherever it is right. You would feel love for literally everyone that you laid eyes on, no matter who they are or what they are doing. You would know value in the trouble that they're stirring. You would know value in the solution that they are seeking. You would know value in their beingness, and you would love them for being, you see. Yeah. We're glad you asked. We're glad you asked.
One last quick question. Will you just give us your deepest, most vast, profound definition and explanation of what love is?
Love is utter alignment with and no vibrational variance from the source who is you.
Does it go deeper?
Well, there's nothing deeper than that, but we can explain it in other ways. Love is attention in the moment of the feeling of love to the precise opinion and perspective that source holds about the same subject that's on the table. We actually prefer the word appreciation to the word love because the word love is so loaded for physical beings. You've sort of ruined the word because you speak of love when you don't have it, and you speak of love when you don't feel it, and you speak of love when it's missing. And so love for most people is tainted with resistance, where appreciation is a purer vibration. But love and appreciation and joy and exhilaration are all evidences of alignment, which must mean absence of resistance, which must mean focus into fullness of who you are. It's like closing that gap and being one streaming energy. You see, you were one streaming energy before you were born into this body. You were pure love. Then you got here and you started worrying about stuff, so you're not pure love. And then you went in the vortex where you were pure love, and you went out and you weren't, and you went in and you were, and you went out and you weren't. Then you started listening to other people who tried to tell you what it was, even though you could feel it on your own, you see. And now you've made your way back to, and this gathering has certainly been about that today, of consciously recognizing that my vortex is a reality, a vibrational reality, and the source who I really am lives and loves. And when I deliberately reach for the feeling of that until I've tuned myself, trained myself into the frequency of that, then I will really come to know it when I get to apply it to the details of all life. So we would say the best definition of love is awareness of self and a determined decision to be in complete alignment with that which is source, that which is truly who I am, and appreciating every rascal that challenges it and makes it more and more and more important for me to do that. Love is not looking at despicable and unlovable and loving it. Love is the discipline to know that if there is a question, there is an answer, and if there is the unwanted, there is the wanted, and having the self-discipline to focus into the vortex where the solutions are.
And is it important or not important, but where does self-love, unconditional self-love fit into this puzzle? Must that come first before we can love externally?
It doesn't have to come first. It doesn't matter what the object of your attention is that you are loving. In other words, there are plenty of things on this planet that are impossible to love. Just don't look there. And don't demand that they change in order for you to feel love. That's where it's at. So much of your world is saying, because they innately know that they want to love, and they don't love that, and they don't love that, and they don't love that, so they're asking all of that to become different and lovable. And then they lose their control, they lose their power and their freedom because they can't control all of those uncontrollable things, you see. Where when you discover that you have the ability to focus yourself into love, then and only then are you willing to allow the variety of intentionality to exist. You see how we've come full circle? Humans so often say, I want to feel love, and therefore I will allow these lovable things, but I will not allow those unlovable things. But in their not allowing of those unlovable things, they take themselves out of the realm of love. And then it is their absence of being connected with love that makes them so sure that they need to destroy what they think is the reason that they don't feel love. Isn't it interesting? When all along, the only reason you don't feel love is because you're looking at a place where you can't line up with who you are. What you're seeking is alignment with the point of view that Source holds.